Hello and welcome back. So we got the Class 25. There were just three Mark 1 blue and greys with the dark roofs there. So lovely smooth run of this. As you could see when we were just swept around the railway there, I've been relatively busy just pulling out bits and pieces. So I eventually got a water tower, although it does appear to have been slightly weathered. I hadn't realised that. But it looks pretty good. It's got the ladders up the side. I think that's R.505. I'm just going to glance at my notes. It's unboxed. Yeah, 505, and that comes from around 78 to 82. I think it went to a stone effect after that. I think it might even still be in production. It didn't come with a water crane, but I did have some of these earlier Triangle Railways ones, which are sort of, I think they're R.068. They date from the 50s and early 60s. So I thought it was quite nice having the three of them across there. And that's the later Hornby one. I don't know whether that's available separately from the water tower, but there's a lot of these around. They turn up in the bottom of boxes and things. I've got another one in my Midland Flyer set as well. And I thought we'd get the crane, whose model number I can't remember. It's got a little figure glued to this one. So I thought the crane would look quite good there. Not sure about whether to raise it a little bit, perhaps. And I've got a couple of these sort of line-side huts that I had hanging around. I thought I had another, the little black hut that went with it, but the one I had in the bag was a sort of creamy beige coloured one. And there's another one there with grey sides and a green door. And I think this one here has been painted, so it's got black sides and a black roof. I think that should probably have had a grey roof. I think it's been painted. If we look inside there, it's got a grey roof. It's been painted over. I had that on the last layout. I think that was behind the engine sheds too, potentially. So just dropped a few of those things on there. And we said last week we had those Caledonian coaches. We had the LMS ones sitting there, and then we had there's the LMS ones. They're sitting in the station at present, and we had the GWR ones with the King Edward still sitting in the sidings there, and then we've got the original Caledonian style ones just sitting there on the outside of the layout. So I said I'd get the southern variant out, so we would have all four variants. We could have a quick look at all four variants on the railway, not all running together. I don't think I'll be able to manage that. So I have dug them out, and there they are boxed. So we've got three composites. If we have a look on the end, there's slightly different printing on the end of each. The composites are 749, so three of those. And then we've got a brake down there, R.750. Now I believe these are from 71 to 73. Let's have a quick glance at them. So they're in a very dark green or olive. I've read them. They're described as olive green. They are quite a dark colour. I think they're going to look quite black straight away on the railway, especially in the very poor light we've got at the moment. So one of these boxes is missing its window. So let's have a quick glance at that. So they're all in very tidy condition. A little bit of damage on the window on that one. All got the white rimmed type wheels. Let's have a look at the end of the box there. And got Triangle Hornby on the back. So, but the brake, sadly missing the cellophane window, but that'll perhaps allow us to have a look without quite so much glare, and on the side of the coach there. But we'll get those out on the railway. And I know last week I said I'd probably have an M7 tank or maybe a Battle of Britain pulling these, but in the event I decided to go with the L1. So let's just pop those there out of the way, get them off the track in case I run into them with anything for now. So I decided to go with this Hornby Railways L1, and this was produced in 72 only, from what I read. And I think we've seen this on the railway before in a much earlier video. I'll leave a link to it when I find it. So it's R.350, and it's the R.068 L1 locomotive, and a wonderful price ticket there, £4.90. So we'll just have a quick look at this. We're not going to look inside the model today. If you want to see the inside workings of this, have a look at the earlier video, because I think I've probably showed the motor and so on within it. So there we go. We've got the model number there, R.350, 12th of the 6th, 72. So another nice early piece of Hornby Railways printed literature here. So again, it's very similar to ones we've seen in the past. It's not a very deep black printing, it's sort of quite greyish. So we'll just put that to one side. And we'll have a swift look over the model. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'll get the words out. Let me hold this in what light we do have under the window here. So I really must get round to getting those LED floods in here. So it's got lovely plated wheels, still relatively crude. And it's got the spokes are all painted up in that matching green. And there we have that tender, great bold type on the side there, Southern 1757. So again, we'll have a quick look over the model once we've got it on the railway. Nice sort of yellow plastic insert into the box there. She does have the plated wheels, and they do also have the green centre. So we're really struggling on the light here this afternoon. So this is about 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. I think we're the 15th of August at the moment. So we'll get that on the rails, and we'll have a look at her with those coaches. I thought that would be a good combination in the end. So with the Morley controller, I've got it not wired up at the moment. I thought it would take me some time, but I have made more progress than I thought. I've got the old control centres plugged back in here, so I've been using those this week whilst a little bit of woodwork has occurred. So I had to build a shelf for this, which I'm quite pleased with. Seems to be like it's going to do the trick quite nicely. So that's got space for potentially more controllers on there, but more importantly, I can get the 01 on there when I'm ready to have a fiddle with that again as well. So we can lift this off, and the 01 will fit on there. I think that's going to be quite impressive. So the plan is to lift these out at some point in the near future, and we'll drop these back down onto the bench here, onto the baseboard. Sorry, not the bench. Ideally, the wiring should do that, but it's going to probably not look as pretty as it could. So that's my plan. And these are the old bases that I 3D printed. Originally I had those on the baseboard with those, so I think that's going to be the plan. I'll just have access to the switches. So I'm pointing but not looking at the camera. I'll have access to the switches here. So I'll be able to operate the controller here, and the handhelds. Hopefully we'll just hang those on the side, and I've got access to the isolating tracks, and there's going to be a couple of other switches going in here to control the turntable, which I'm going to share the feed for one side of the controller, and we're going to share the feed so we can swap for overhead and track control. For now, we're not going to mix the two, I don't think, on this railway anyway, and probably as a result of that, I'm not going to extend the catenary any further around the inside line to towards the engine shed. So I'm actually going to remove that. I made that decision this week. I think that's probably the way to go for now with that. But what we should probably do now is get this Class 25, and we'll get it put back into a siding. So we'll get it off the elevated section. So there I have those Caledonians sitting in the siding next to the GWR ones we saw just last week, and we'll get this Class 25 away to the siding where I'm planning to put her, which is just next to the turntable. So we'll just follow her down here. Again, the light is really poor this afternoon, so we'll just take a little power out of that. And we'll just follow her around the once, I think. Light work of the diamond crossing at that speed. At low speed, she really does tend to cough and splutter a little bit. So I think we'll just bring that to a gentle stop. As usual, I've just rolled just too far on points 1B. I'm just going to close off the elevated section before we have any unintended accidents. So we'll back her up just a little, and we'll take her just off points 1B, and then we'll switch those along with 2B, and we should be able to roll onto the inside line. Let's see if we can get that to happen. I think we're all safe in there, so we'll just switch up point work behind us, and then we need to open some more. I think 1R is what's required, and I think I left 2R where it needs to be, so we need to swap direction, and then we'll just see if we can back that into the siding now. I think she will be safe there. So let's close 2R, and then we need to rotate that turntable anti-clockwise. So that just needs to come around a couple of clicks. Just have a quick look at the L1 sitting there next to the water tower. Ooh, I think the turntable's almost there. There we have it. So as I was saying, the L1's sitting nicely there next to the water tower. Absolutely gorgeous colour, really deep with that deep sort of green with that gloss on it, a deep glossy finish, I think is the words, or are the words I'm struggling for here. So sitting just next to the water tower with that quite a long, precarious looking ladder. Quite a nice piece of moulding here. I'm not sure whether this sort of wood effect is printed on. I know the windows are separately fitted, they are glued in quite crudely. There's lots of cement running around on the inside of that. So let's see if we can give this a little power and get her up onto the turntable. So I think we need to change direction. Actually, I'm just going to change hands on the camera here. We'll see if we can watch her move forwards onto the turntable. I think that'll do for now, and I think we need to rotate clockwise. So we're all there, so we just need to roll her off the turntable now. So let's see if we can perhaps have a slightly elevated view of this. There we have it. So we need to switch up a bit of point work now. So we need to close off the route to the turntable. We need to switch 2B again, or shall we go a slightly more interesting route? Let's go the more interesting route. So let's go for 1. Actually, I missed throwing that. That sounds better. And then number 4. So that'll take us through the crossover outside of the station here. So that'll come through here, and then we can run onto the approach. So I think that's probably more interesting than backing up back through points 2B. So a little bit of power. slight stutter on the diamond there. There's only two pickups, two wheels picking up on this model on either side. So we'll stop that just beyond 1Y now. I just need to undo what I've done with the point work and then open that line up from the other end. So that is 1 and 4. Now I need to open 8 and 1Y. Now we need to change direction. Different controller this time, so we're on the outside line now. So if I hold that up, I have a feeling I've selected the wrong hand for the camera here, so I'll swap again. And let's see if we can send her backwards and collect those coaches. And I'm just going to stop short of them because I'm just going to have a quick look at these coaches before we go very much further. So let's switch the camera around and see if we can go in a little tighter there. So there we can see that the difference in the modelling on both sides again, just like those other two there. So I think what we'll do, we'll just close up that side in for a second. We'll bring out the LMS versions as well. So just bear with me. I'll just switch the camera back around again, and we'll close 1Y while we're at it. And then we'll unisolate the station. Sorry, not pointing in the right direction there. And then the princess should roll out and we'll be able to see. Ooh, I've got her in the wrong direction. Of course, benefiting from the chuff chuff sound here. There we go. So you can see the difference in the modelling there. So there isn't any real lining on those southern coaches. I'm just going to cut for a moment, and we'll just go the other side and have a look. So we'll just have a swift look along these. So there's the Caledonian ones and the two slight different variations of the modelling on either side. You can see the slight damage on that one. And there's the GWR variation. I think what I'll do at the end is I'll have a pair of these sitting side by side. We'll have a look at them very close up so we'll be able to see them, because I think this is proving to be relatively difficult looking at them here. So let's hope that's all on. And then we should have a look at the other slight variation there and difference in the modelling. So the white roofs really don't help the camera exposed properly for this. It's such a dark colour. And there's those LMS ones there. So I think I'm just going to jump back the other side of the railway and we'll get the princess back to the station. I know I said I wasn't going to look on the inside of the L1 there, but I thought, seems as I had her apart and I was oiling it, I might as well take a little bit of footage, and we don't need 2B. So I thought I'd just drop that in there, just for added interest, but I will leave the link to the other video, just in case you'd like to see it. So let's just bring the the Princess back around into the station. Under the bridge, past the corporate blue BR train there. And back into the station where she came from. So I think we'll put that right back along the platform to there. So I'm just going to switch up a bit of point work again and just isolate the platform. And then we need to do 1B. Sorry about the noise of the dog barking in the background. We'll open 1Y again. So we should be able to get the L1 into action with the coaches. So let's see if she'll back up. So if I hold that much, oops, that was a bit quicker than I was expecting. I was going to say if I hold that closer, we'll be able to see that happen, but I turned the controller way more than I was anticipating. So unless they've all jumped off behind her, I think we're probably in business now. So onto the main line. And then I think if we close up the point work behind, so that's 1 and 8R. So let me turn the camera around again. And let's give this a little power. I think we're good all the way around the main line now. It's such a deep shine on that. Slight hesitation on that point. Again, just the 2 pickups. See if we can follow this around here. Bit of dust on the top of that canopy. Must get around to cleaning that. So I suspect she's going to stutter a little bit on this diamond crossing when we come round here. Yeah, slight hesitation. Not unexpected though. Let's see if we can have a look through the elevated section and the engine shed here. Yeah, so when these controllers are on here, we should have a much better view across the railway as we come round there. So I think we'll just increase the power a little bit. I'm going to change the camera around, I think. Definitely an express service at the moment. I think probably we need to take that down a little bit. There we go. Definitely not as much control with this controller as the Morley. You soon get used to the difference in the level of control. It's way more balanced than it probably should be. Really been about 50 years better in design. So let's see if we can slow this down now. And we'll switch open the elevated section and we'll give that a go. That's the tail end, front end, and we need 1B and 2B. Let's see how well she climbs. She does have the magnet adhesion, and it is the 4 of these coaches. Relatively, it's a lot of wheels. Quite a lot of point work to negotiate here. Let's just stop that there and see how she moves away. just while I remember, apart from having a look at the locomotive here in the nice light, the water tower arrived in this box along with a number of other things which we shall have a glance at next week. Let's just have a quick look down the side of the model here. Let me zoom in a little bit and see if we can have a closer look over the model. And that is a gorgeous deep shine on that model, isn't it? So of course you can see the motor coming through the back end of the cab there. Let's have a quick look down the side of those coaches. So that deep green and the white roofs are a bit of a challenge for the exposure, and there's the different modelling there. So I think only 71, 73, I think I said earlier. So I think in all of these Caledonian style coaches, I don't think there was seating. I don't think they thought it was practical to make the moulding for the seating, but then the sort of more regional style coaches in the mid-70s showed up. I think it was the 77 catalogue that showed those in the different liveries of the famous railway companies, I think. So maybe they were just a stopgap. So I think we need to give that just a little more power now. Little bit of wheel slip, but she's got it. And I think she's probably going to gather an awful lot of speed coming down the other side. I am going to back it off a little, or a lot as it happens. That's almost minimum there, and it's tearing away. See if she runs out of the weight behind her, and the force as that minimum turns into minimum. So you just don't get that effect with the Morley controller. So I think that's probably about it this week. Thanks again for watching. It really is hugely appreciated. If you look back again next time, we'll try and have something else from the range to look at. Goodbye now.